All right. All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the delay. I was in some massive traffic. Sorry about all that. All right. Let's on and get started here. Let me grab stuff out of my way real quick. All right. Welcome to the live session, August 20th. And we are going to take a look at some stocks and see what's going on with the markets. Okay. So let's start with ES. ES right now. ES. So we automatically see that we have a bearish divergence, right? We have this bearish divergence down here. Okay. Now that's super evident. You know, I've been seeing that across a lot of things. Let's see here. It's been I've been seeing this bearish divergence across a lot of things. You know, a lot of techs, a lot of QQQs, ES, Nasdaq. You know, I see it. We still going higher, right? But we're putting in that divergence. So what is that? So we see that we made a new high here, okay, and then we put a lower high in here on the RSI. So that's telling me the market's weak, right? And it's, essentially we're going down. Well, let's take a look. We're in this bullish channel, okay? We lost it a couple days ago, okay? We're hitting the 20 SMA. We hit that 20 SMA before, and we lost it, came back, and then we got it, and we came back up, okay? And that was on the lower end of the channel. This time, we lost it. Well, we're not. Essentially, today we held it. And we held that 6404 support. Now, but we're outside of the channel, and we have a bearish divergence on there. So what is that trying to say? Well, if this is what I'm thinking, if we're going to pull back, right, we're going to pull back. Let's see. Clear all this out. We're going to pull back. You know, on the weekly, not quite clear because the weekly, this would be a bull flag on the weekly. Okay, we are putting a bearish, engulfing on the weekly here so far. We still got 2 days left. All right, so this level here, 64.26, is going to be a good area of support, more like 64.20. Okay, we pull back, we're going to be ending up at 63.36. Okay, 63.30 to 63.36. Okay. Now, let's see here. Grab that here. Now, if this is true, okay, we could pull back 6,200, and that would be the previous highs. Right, 6,200 to 6,150. Okay, so that could happen, right? So if we're having a bearish divergence right now. Okay, we're at the 20 SMA. Okay, if we lose that because of this bearish divergence and the weakness in the markets to show that the price isn't going as well as the RSI, you know, we could pull back to 6,300. Okay, and initially we'll be pulling back to 63.30 and then 6,300. That's a 50 SMA, and then we could come back down to that 6150 to 6200 area. Okay, back test the breakout on the monthly. Okay, because that's the all-time highs that we're going to be testing. Right, that's the all-time highs that we're going to be testing. Okay, we do have a nice breakout on the monthly here. All right, we do have a nice breakout on the monthly there. So can we come back and back test it, set up, and then set up for a nice rally on up in a month or two? Most definitely we can. But, all that isn't happening yet. Okay, that's a possibility. Okay, that's possibility number one. Okay, possibility number one. All right, so right now we're still in a bull flag. Okay, and we're holding the 20 SMA. Okay, we're not falling off yet. But is there a possibility that we can? Yes, there is. Why? Weakness in the charts, weakness in the price action, weakness all around. We're at the top of the channel. Okay, we're at the top of the channel. We could come back down on the lower end of the channel. Let's see. Do we have any rising wedge here? Potentially a rising wedge here that we just fell out of. Okay, but we're not getting that volume to the downside yet. All right, so that volume to the downside has not came. So it's hard to jump on that bear side just yet. Although we are pulling back, this could just be another bull flag set up and then we go higher. Okay, and this bearish divergence breaks. So not jumping to any conclusions yet, but we're also not getting off of the fact that could happen. We're at the top of a channel. We have a little rising wedge here. Okay. We have a lot of room to the downside of the channel. We could back test that breakout of the all-time highs, which could be fine. It could be very fine. We could go back test that all-time highs level and then set up for another hard run up. That would probably be best case scenario because we have been running a lot. We have been running a lot in the overall markets. So it wouldn't be bad to have a little healthy ABC correction here and then set up for a nice hard rally on up. Okay. But this is what it's looking like. Okay. It's not there quite yet, but it's looking like it. Bearish divergence. We're kind of fading a little bit. I mean, we're not too far. We're only 100 points away from all-time highs. That's not a lot of points. You could have that in one day. Okay, you could have that in one day. So it's not too crazy, right? We're at the 20 SMA. Okay, we're 100 points away from all-time highs. We're 100 points away from the 50 SMA. Okay, so we're right smack in the middle. So, even if you wanted to, you could play a nice little straddle right here or strangle, right? You could have 100 point up, 100 point down in the next 2 weeks. Which one goes? All right, but we still have that bull flag there. We have that support right here at that 63, 65, 63.70. Okay, bull flag support right there. As long as we hold above that, it's good. If we lose that, we're gonna go to that 6,300. Okay, 6,300 to about 6,250. Okay, if that happens, then most likely we're gonna come visit that 6,150. Okay, if that happens and we hold that, which I think we will, I think that's going to be a prime buy area for a longer term bull trend. And don't get me wrong, we've been in a very long bull trend, right? We've been in a very long bull trend. Okay, we chopped around here and then boom, taking off here. And then we've been in this little bull trend since 2022. From here, when we rallied here, came back, and then rallied back here, okay, and pulled back there. So this could easily be a little pullback set up here for another rip up, okay. I'm not calling that this is the top of the markets at all. We do have a little divergence here on the monthly chart, but I wouldn't think too much of it just yet. Okay, on the weekly, no real divergence there. No real divergence there on the weekly at all. Okay, daily definitely have a big divergence there. Big divergence there. So looking at that, we could definitely pull back. So I would be cautious. I had bought a couple long puts for September just in case. Was it like yesterday, 2 days ago? Maybe adding some more to those just in case that we do get that bearish divergence that plays out. But so far right now on the ES, okay, 4 hour is looking a little bit sad. Okay. RSI below 50. Okay. Holding up somewhat, but this little consolidation zone here that's holding up in that little zone. So we lose that 6350, 6360, 6350 area, we're going to come down here to 6300. And if we lose that, we're coming down to 6250. And then from there, if we lose that, we're going to 6150. Okay, 6150 is going to be the where it's going to finally have some support. Maybe it goes a little under, but hopefully comes back up, because that will be a back test and confirm of the previous breakout, and will be okay to go higher. But at least short term, for tomorrow, looking at ES, it doesn't look bad and doesn't look great. We have RSI hitting that 50 area, and it can't get through it. That's not the best thing. But we also are seeing that we have a bull flag forming, okay, and we're right on that line. So, we could push that back up. We're gonna have to get past this downtrend though. Have to get this past this downtrend. Let me double see this here. This downtrend here. Maybe that bigger downtrend right there. So we got that bigger downtrend there. Okay, we have that downtrend there. All right, on the hourly at least. Okay. We were really low on our side today, but we had that nice bounce. We couldn't get over the 50 though. That's the only thing that worries me, right there. All right. So we need to get back over 64.35, 64.40, 64.40 for sure would be a nice breakout to the upside. But if we can't do that, we get rejected at 64.30, or not even 64.30. 64.30. At 64.30, if we get rejected, we're gonna keep coming back down. We're gonna keep coming back down, and we're probably gonna come back down to that 63.60. So that 63.60, and if we lose that, then we're going to that 62.50, and then basically 61.50. So basically, I'm gonna let you know here, if we lose 63.50, we're gonna go to 61.50. We're gonna back test previous highs. Okay. So that's the plan, right? So if we're gonna lose today's low, which is at 63.62.75. If we lose today's low, we're going to go to 6,300 for sure. But most likely, we're going to go to 61.50. Okay, and then that's where we're going to visit that area and see what's going on there. If we're going to hold, if we're not going to hold, Right now, today, we had a nice buy the dip situation, and it held the 20 SMA. Now we're going to see, do we continue to hold the 20 SMA? Because this candle that we have today, it needs follow through. If we don't get follow through, we got, we're in the same position. We're going to come back down here. If we do get a hard sell off and we hold it at 63.50 again, and then we have a nice run up again at the end of the day and form another one of these, then on Friday we're going to have that follow through. And it might happen that tomorrow we get another sell off, and and then at the end of the day it's going to rally back up, and then for Friday we might gap up, and then for the Fed talk we might just sell off hard. So that's a possibility. Okay, I'm not throwing that out, because we do have that bearish divergence on there. We do have a lot of stocks with that bearish divergence, and we do have Fed talking on Friday. Okay, today with the minutes, it just basically said, the Fed minutes basically said that we have more inflation rate risk than employment rate risk, right? So we're not thinking about losing jobs, right? That's not the risk, but the risk is higher inflation. Now, in order to gauge that risk, they gotta identify what are the tariffs going to impact the inflation, and now they're saying that that's going to take way too long to understand. So, and they're not going to wait on getting that information. So they're going to make a decision before grabbing all of the hard data that is going to tell them how bad the inflation is going to, or how bad the tariffs are going to in fact affect inflation. So that's kind of a good news, because it's saying, okay, we're going to most likely cut rates before we get the data that's saying, how bad inflation is going to get for the tariffs. But on the other hand, that might ensue more tariffs, or possibly an effect where the tariffs have a huge impact, and then it might hurt us later down in the road. So it might help us now and make the markets rally, but what that markets rally, people have more money. We're already printing a bunch of money right there as it is. Okay, but that means more inflation as well. So inflation is coming, whether we like it or not. Things are going to get more expensive. Burgers are getting more expensive, and that's the last thing to get more expensive is burgers. Burgers are already getting more expensive, right? Okay, the only thing that's still cheap is the Costco hot dog. That's about it. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we do pull back, we're going to do a real quick drop to that 61.50. We're going to hold it, chop around there for a little bit, and then from here, we might go in and out from above it, below it. But that's going to be an area to buy. And then once we hold that area and consolidate there, I think we take off real hard, and we go to probably 7,000, right? 7,000 or more on ES. If we don't do that, what's going to happen is we hold this area, we keep going up, but we're going to go up slowly. We're going to just kind of trickle up. And the only problem with trickling up is it looks good long term, like trickling up, it looks good. But the option prices, you'll have like 3 up days, 4 down days, then chop around, then some up days, then some sideways days, then up days. And then you go up a couple days, then you go sideways a couple days, and then you go up a couple days, and then you go sideways a couple days. Well, with the options, if you're not continuously buying the dip on those, that time decay is going to hurt you and your profits. So you might do good on these up days, but those pullback days are going to hurt. Sideways days are going to hurt. And then the up days were going to bring you back to where you were. And then the sideways again is going to hurt. And then the up days is going to kind of bring you back up to a little bit more higher. But, overall, the slow grind up, it hurts your options longer term. Now the fast down and the fast up, those are the ones that your options kill. They murder it. They make you a lot of money. So that's the kind of action that we want, right? We want fast down, fast up. So like here, we got fast down, okay, a little bit up, and then fast down, and then boom, high up, okay, down, and then high up fast. Okay, we killed it these months. We murdered it these months. We murdered it here, we murdered it here, murdered it here, murdered it here. Okay, these months, it's kind of, here and there, couple like pointer winners, but overall, the longer term calls didn't really make money until it took a while, right? The while, okay? All right, so that's what I'm seeing right there. Rising wedge. We're in this downtrend here on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 hour. We're in this consolidation zone here. Okay, if we could hold that 20 SMA, we could still go up. I'm not saying I'm not being an opponent for the downside. I'm just saying what I'm seeing. Okay, so if we lose 63.50 or 63.60, if we lose that, we're going to 6,300, but most likely we're going to 61.50. Okay, so I just want you guys to be prepared for that. So if we do drop it down, 61.50 is going to be our main target. All right. So what does that look like on SPY, right? So, like basically, if we drop it down this week, most likely 6,300 comes. So that's 100 points drop. Okay, that's a 100-point drop. All right, but remember I said we got 100 points on the top for all-time highs. We got 100 points on the bottom for 50 SMA. All right, we're right at the 20, right smack in the middle. All right, if we could break out a 64.40 tomorrow, we have a better chance of going high to all-time highs. But if we can't break that 64.40 and then we end up breaking that 63.50, we have a higher chance of going to that 63.50. I mean 6,300. All right. And then if that happens, most likely we go to that 61.50. All right. So that's ES. Okay. That's ES. That's my spiel on that. The overall markets. We just this week we're putting in a little small candle. So I don't know if Thursday and Friday or even Friday is going to bring, say, a candle all the way back down to 62.30. Okay, we might break through 6,300 and we might open up. We might close at 62.30. Okay, if we close at 62.30, then we're going to be doing a. I'm sorry, that's the monthly. Let's go to the weekly. There you go. Oh, the weekly's already already a bearish engulfing. Okay, but by the month we haven't really been doing much, huh? Just kind of been up here in the month. So we got next week is the end of the month. So if next week we close below 62.30, then we have a bearish, engulfing. But most likely, if it's next week, we'll probably be closing at 61.50, which would be a big bearish engulfing. Okay, but would that mean we're out of the game and we're not going higher? No, not necessarily. The next month we could easily come back up, come back down or go down and then come back up, and then October comes and then we could set up, and then November comes and we could have a nice rally. Okay, so we're still in an uptrend overall. Okay, we're not fighting the trend. Okay, we're slowing down a little bit. Okay, but overall, the longer term thing, we're still up. So I'm just giving you guys both scenarios here. But don't think I'm a proponent for one or the other. A back test from all-time highs is always nice, especially if it holds and then goes, because it gives you that buying opportunity. Everybody wants a buying opportunity. But when that buying opportunity comes, you're like, damn, fuck it, I want to buy. And then when it starts running, you're like, damn, I should have bought. Well, I'm telling you, if we come back down here, this is going to be a buying opportunity. All right. So we have signs that it's a possibility, and it's a good sign too because we're only 100 points away from all-time highs. So if we do that, then great. You could set up your puts now so that you get paid when we hit that area, and then close it out and then get your longs, right? Easy peasy. All right, let's go. And what does that look like for SPY? Let's go into SPY. Okay, so SPY. All right, SPY. All right, let's all right, so SPY outside its channel as well, right? SPY has a bearish divergence as well. Here we got that bearish divergence. Okay, we got that bearish divergence here. Pretty big one. Pretty big bearish divergence. Okay. So we're on the lower end of the channel, right? We're grinding on that. Okay, and then we hit that 646. And then we've been going sideways. Okay, we had down day yesterday, down day today, but we had a nice buy candle today. Nice buy candle right at that 634 area. Right? I told you that earlier today, that 634 area was what we needed to be above, and that was very strong support. We dipped below it a little bit, came back up. Okay, we're holding the 20 SMA at that 635, and then we almost got that 638.69. We got 638. Okay, we hit that 640 and then came back down. So still bull flag. Okay, still bull flag on there. Nice little bull flag there. Still bull flag, but we are outside the channel. Okay, we are outside the channel. All right. We're outside the channel, and that's a nice channel there that we're outside. Okay. So can we get back in the channel? Yes, we could easily get back in the channel. So we're not quite out of the game yet. We could still get back inside of the channel, especially if we break that 646. We go to the 650. We're back in the channel. Okay, will that happen this week? Maybe. I don't know what Friday's going to bring. Friday, we might just rock it, and boom, we're back in the channel like nothing happened. All right? Things happen like that all the time. So understand, we're outside the channel. We have bearish divergence on the dailies. We have potential weakness, right? Potential weakness, but we're not out. We're not out. The trend is still up. The weekly's still up. Everything's still up. Okay. So what are we looking at here? So for the SPY, if we lose 634, okay, because that's what we needed to hold today. Okay, what's the low that we got today? 633, basically. So we lose 633 this week, that's not going to be a good sign. It's going to be a sign of weakness, right? Especially because look at all of this buy candle right here. All this buy right here is strong. Buy. So they hit the area, bought it up. Okay? Bought it up. Now, if this happens again and we come back down here and we don't get bought up, that's a problem. We're going down here to 626 and most likely 624. Okay, and 624 looks like it has really good support. 624 has good support. Or 623.50. Got a lot of support there. We got a lot of support at 626 as well. But most likely we're gonna hit that 50 SMA if we do drop. All right. So previous Previous highs was what? 613. Okay. 613. Okay, 613.23. All right. Previous highs. PH. All right, that's the previous highs. Previous highs on the monthly. Okay, now we go down to the daily. See, where is that? Previous highs is right here at 613. So if we lose that 633 tomorrow or this week, we come down to 626. Okay, definitely 623 as well. We lose that, and then we're going to that 613. Okay. So we have a lot of support in between those two. A lot of support right here in this zone right here. From 620 to 630, there's $10 worth of support. Okay. Now, of course, we got a bearish divergence. Okay, we got a potential drop coming. If we lose that 633, but we have a lot of support right there. So, there could be a possibility where we, make a head and shoulders, where we drop back down here, then bounce again, and then drop it back down to that previous high of 613. Okay, but those are bad scenarios, right? Those are down scenarios. Those are pullback scenarios. Those are bearish divergence scenarios that could come about. All right. Now, what are the positive scenarios? Well, positive scenarios, you got a bull flag here. You got support right here. Okay. Now, if we get back above 640, that's going to be back above this previous high of 640 exactly. And then we're going to get back into this straight end bull flag. And if we break that 646, we go 653. Okay, we go 653 and we go 662. Okay. But that means we're going to get back in the channel, or we're going to grind on the channel up. Okay. So we got two scenarios. Okay, we either fall back down to 613, which is previous high of the breakout on the monthly, or we hold right now. Thursday, we have a phenomenal day because we had a huge buy day today, right? So we had a huge buy day today. Nice big buy day today. All right. If we confirm it tomorrow with another buy day like this, right? We confirm it with another candle like this going to 645, right? Because we want to get above 640. Okay, we get a candle like this, then that's going to be strong, and that's going to be a perfect bull flag setup. And that's if we break 664, then that bearish divergence is going to break, and then we're going to continue on to 653 and 662. So we have two ideas, right? We could either pull back to 613, or this was a opportunity to buy the dip, and we're going straight up to 650, 662. I would typically say it's a straight opportunity to buy, so we go higher, but we have that bearish divergence. Now, if that bearish divergence breaks, then I'm going to be like, okay, all day. That bearish divergence broke, we go to 650, 662. Like, let's go. All right? So, on this situation, I'm like, okay, we got that bearish divergence. Okay, we're outside the channel. Okay, we could easily get back in the channel, but we need to see a couple more days. Okay, we had some nasty sell-offs on a lot of big players. Okay, a lot of big players. Okay, that we'll get into in a little bit. But I'm letting you know right now. SPY can easily go either way from here. Okay, we got a nice bull flag on the daily with the nice setup, holding the 20 SMA. That's good. But we got a bearish divergence and also We had a hard sell-off today. A lot of buyers came in today, but we need to see follow-through. We need to see follow-through. Okay? We need to see follow-through. If we don't get that follow-through, it's it doesn't matter how great of a day it was today. If we don't get that follow-through, then it's not worth anything. It's not worth anything because it's just kind of killing time. It's killing time because there's been several times where we've had like a great day and then they just take it all away the next day. So if we don't get follow through today and they take it all away tomorrow, then what's the point of it? What is the point of it? Okay. Let's go into let's see, NASDAQ. Yeah, let's do NASDAQ next. Okay. Grab that. Here, NASDAQ. All right, NASDAQ. NASDAQ, bearish divergence, obvious. Very, 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 very obvious. Okay, bearish divergence, hard. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Tech has been looking weak, right? I've been saying that in the chat a lot. I said tech has been very, very looking weak, right? Looking weak. All right, now here's the problem with this now. This is, I just explained ES to you and SPY and how there's the possibilities down, there's possibilities up, and the bearish divergence not looking good. All right, well, on the NASDAQ, here's the bullish channel that we're in, right? Okay, NASDAQ lost the bullish channel, came back up towards that bullish channel, and it looking like it rejected. It rejected getting back up there. And then it didn't hold this support area at 23,661. Okay, it didn't hold the 20 SMA and lost it. Okay, automatically right here we can already see that the NASDAQ is weaker than ES and SPY. Why? Because first of all, we're not holding the 20 SMA. SPY and SPY and ES are holding the 20 SMA. The NASDAQ is not holding the 20 SMA. Lost it yesterday, confirmed it today. Okay, almost hit the 50 SMA. Okay, and bounced from there. But also, we can see that on the RSI, we're all the way below 50 already. Okay, we might coming back a little bit. We got the bearish divergence and we're below 50. So that's already telling us that tech is weaker than the overall market. All right, we have that bearish divergence here, which kind of confirmed here. Okay, we lost the bull flag on here. Okay, SPY and SPY and ES still have their bull flag. This is foretelling, right? So the NASDAQ is foretelling the future of the markets. They're weak, right? That you can't have a strong market without tech. Tech is the overall market, basically, right? So we see here, we're like, okay, so we got over this high right here, right? We got over this high at 23,845. Okay, we picked our head up and we lost it. We couldn't hold it. We were drowning. We drowned. Remember, lost the 50. Okay, almost hit the 50 and holding. Okay, so to me, this is just wasting time. I think it's gonna fall over, right? So in reality, I think we're gonna have this. this shoulder here. Okay, and then we're going to have this head here. And then we're most likely, maybe we bounce tomorrow. And then we're going to have another shoulder here. And then I think maybe Friday or next week, we drop it. We drop it. And then once we drop it, it's going to be a little head and shoulders pattern. And when we drop it, we go 22,415. And then, 22,415, 21,953. And then, I think that was right here. And then 21,500. Okay, and then where is the previous breakout here? Okay, the previous breakout is at 22,450. So right here on the first target down. So on the first target down, that's where the first target down is where the previous highs were for all-time highs. So I feel like this is forming a head and shoulders, a sloping one, but it's still one. So it's a sloping head and shoulders. I think we get one little bounce. I think tomorrow we bounce it and we get rejected by that 20 SMA at 23,500. So 23,500 is a possible. Maybe it goes up a little higher than 23,500. Maybe it goes to 23,600. No, let me see. No, maybe it probably goes to 23,580. And then it gets rejected. But I think Friday sets up for a drop. This is more telling than ES and SPY. So I think that there's one shoulder here, okay? There's a head here. And then this is going to make that right shoulder. And then we're going to have one up. And then on Friday possibly, we're going to have that drop. And we're going to break. So, and then we're going to drop below that 50 on the RSI. So that's I think that's more telling, a lot more telling than ES and SPY. Obviously, SPY and ES are going to pull back as well. But I think tech is going to be the harsher one. Tech is going to be the one that hurts the most. So obviously, tech is leading this weakness. So unless we could get back above 23,700, I mean, even then, if we even get back, we would have to get back above 23,850 in order for us to be outside of this head and shoulders pattern. Because even if we get to 23,787, we could easily reject that because the previous high here was 23,853. So if we can't get past that previous high there, then we're gonna be setting up, whether it's this week or next week, for a head and shoulders pattern that's gonna take us down. And our targets are gonna be here. Previous high 22,400, 22,500 area, and then 22,000, and then 21,500. So this is telling us a lot more. So keep that in mind. But again, if this is like that, then we could easily load up some puts, on QQQ, SPY, whatever it is. I would prefer QQQ because I saw it weaker today. It was the weakest. It was weaker than the market overall today. But load up some puts, let the story go and drain it down. Whatever news is coming out, whatever problem it is, whatever it is with the Trump and then China and then tariffs and then Zelensky and all that put in and all that stuff is probably it's gonna get worse before it gets better. That's just how it is. How long we've been in this game. We've been in this game for a long time. That's how it's gonna be. It always gets worse before it gets better. especially we're at all-time highs. Of course, Trump was never gonna make a deal so quickly. The idea of war ending so quickly is really gonna happen. There has to be a hard drop in the markets, super hard drops in the markets, right? And then the political people, they look good, and then turn it around and the markets go rally. So let this pull back, let us get that dip that we want, and then let the market, take off and cut rates and do all that. It's going to look better for him to drop the market now, cut the rates, and then let the market run, get the whatever, the war done, and then everything's great, right? Markets will rally, people will love it, and everything will be good, right? So let the Head and Shoulders play out. Why not? Let it pop tomorrow, and then we can load up. Let it pop tomorrow and Friday. Let it pop Friday too. Why not? And then load up, right? I'm going to be loading up tomorrow and Friday, most likely, because even if we pop higher Friday, that's just going to confirm for me personally, it's going to confirm that we're going to be dropping next week, because if we rally hard the next 2 days after we drop so much, it's going to give a false sense of euphoria. And that false sense of euphoria is always typically a trap. So if we pop hard tomorrow and Friday, most likely over the weekend we're going to gap down and we're going to sell off all next week. Okay. And then, or we do nothing next week, and then something happens in the beginning of September, then we drop it off. But Head and Shoulders is evident. We're outside the channel, evident. Okay, we're bearish divergence, evident. This thing is letting us know, hey, markets tapping out. People, large institutions. Whenever there's a Head and Shoulders pattern, it means large institutions are getting out. Okay. So is this a Head and Shoulders pattern yet? Not yet. But if we do pop it tomorrow or Friday, and then we start coming back down, that's gonna be validated right there. That's the right shoulder. So we're getting right into the right shoulder. So here's the left shoulder, perfect. Okay, and now here's the right. Here's the head, perfect. Okay, and then now we just need the right shoulder. And the right shoulder doesn't need to be that high. Again, it could go just to 23,500. Okay, it just needs to go a little higher than this one, higher than today's candle, and then top off, and then boom, we could drop it off and then fall out. All right. So Nasdaq gave us a big clue, right? Nasdaq gave us a big clue right there. So let's look at that. Let's look at QQQ and see what that is. Look at Qs. Okay. So the Qs, all right. So the Qs kind of have the similar, but a little different. Okay. We can see that we have that bearish divergence there, right? Definitely bearish divergence here. All right. We got that bearish divergence there. Here we have that shoulder here, that left shoulder here. And then here, this is slanting though. It's slanting. It says a slanted. It's a slanted Head and Shoulders, which is fine. But it is slanted. We lost the channel. Okay, we rejected the channel here, came back down, came back up, not near the channel, and then sold off again. Lost the 20 SMA, right? Okay, couldn't get back above 567. Okay, we did have a nice big buy candle, but we need to confirm it, right? But even if we confirm it, I think this is going to be a slanted Head and Shoulders pattern. So even if we do go higher tomorrow, which is fine, we go to, I wish we go to 574 tomorrow. I hope we get a hard, nice rally to 574. If we go to 574, that'd be perfect, because that would be the top. Okay, and that's going to be the top of the right shoulder. Okay, we get there. I'm going to be loading up on puts for at least 2 weeks out. 2 to 3 weeks out, maybe even just the September 19th, 20 days out, 30 days out. And then from there, if we lose it, we're going to be definitely dropping off down to 540. So if we could get it to 575 tomorrow or Friday, and then get some 540 puts, 550 puts, because it's going to definitely come down at least to 550. So 25 points away, that would be a nice drop. Okay. 35 points away, that'd be even a better drop. Okay, we got a gap fill right here at 530. We have a nice gap fill right here at 532. We also have a nice gap fill at 580 and 489, but I don't think we're going to go that low. I think we could get this gap fill at 532. So if we could go to 575 tomorrow or Friday, okay, and then set up that head and shoulders pattern, and then drop it down to 532 in the next 2 weeks, that will be major gains right there. Because, when we drop hard. What did I say? When you trickle up, you always have to buy the dip in order to make actual good money. But when it goes straight up and straight down, that's when you make real good money. All right. So there's a possibility that we have. It's a very strong possibility too, that we go up tomorrow or Friday or both, and then we load up right there at that 575 area. The only thing we can't break is that 580 to 583. We don't want to break that, because then this pattern it gets weak, and if we break 583, that pattern is non-existent unless it does a double top. If it does a double top at 583, then okay, the pattern is a different pattern, but it's still the same outcome. It's going to drop. Okay. So, this kind of goes with my theory of a couple other stocks that I've been looking at the market, because they're also setting up some bearish patterns, but they're setting up a little bit differently. But they are setting up some bearish patterns, and we'll look at those in the coming. All right. So, that's what I'm seeing right there. That's the pattern that I'm looking at. We went up, we went back down. Okay, we went up, we went back down. We went up one more time, we go back down again, we're coming all the way down. Okay, so my target from where we go to 575 is going to be 532. Okay, and we're going to break previous highs. That means we're going to break previous highs. Previous highs was 540, right? So we're going to break that. We're going to go to 532, and then we're going to come back and probably get back over 540. And then this is going to be, we might break 532 a little bit, maybe, or even a lot of bit, maybe 525, maybe 520. But I think this is be the golden area where you want to buy around 532. 532 to 540. I think 540 might try to hold, but I think if we get a lot of sell pressure, we're going to go to 532. Hit that, maybe go a little bit lower. Okay, 525. I think if we could get to 525, that'd be a perfect area to buy long. Because if we actually get serious selling, we might, these moving averages might meet right at 525 when all that things happen, because we got a couple up days. These are going to move a little higher. And then when we get our down days, these are still going to be moving a little higher. Okay, and then we might meet them right at 525. So I'm thinking 525 is going to be a potential buy the dip area. So let's just say 526 as a buy zone potential. Okay. Buy zone potential, and we'll do that one light green. Buy zone potential. All right. So we'll see that, and we'll see how the market is, and how we're acting, and how the RSI is acting, and how the overall price action is by that time. But so far, our game plan that we're looking at in the market is, we jump up tomorrow, Friday, to 575, 576. We're going to be buying some September 19th 540 puts. All right, so was that September 19th be 550 puts, okay? They're $5 right now. Hopefully when it gets a little higher, let's say get $10 more, say hopefully we get to 575. Maybe that's going to be, you know, around $3 or $4. Maybe it might probably be around $4. About 4 something maybe. If we get it high 3s, low 4s, that'd be perfect. And then some 540s, you know, these are going to be, you know, high 2s, low 3s, maybe even lower. Maybe even lower than that. But you already see a lot of people already buying these ones up already. Okay? So, you know, that's a good sign. It's always a good sign. All right, yeah, a lot more people are buying these than they are buying calls. So that gives us 30 days exactly. All right, but we're not going to buy them yet. We want the market to go up a little bit. We want them to fake out people and not fake out us. So let it come up a little bit. Maybe get to 574. But right here, this is my golden area that I want to be buying these puts at. Anything above 572. Anything above 572. My only fear is that the 20 SMA gets rejected. I know it's going to reject. But I don't know if it's going to reject immediately or if it's going to go higher. And then, you know, it's going to go basically like this. We get a nice candle like this, right? We get a nice candle like this. But by the end of the day, we sell off and the candle is looking like this, right? And it's looking like it's looking like this, right? It's looking like this candle. So hopefully like this candle upside down, basically, yeah. So hopefully that happens, because then that's going to be the best case scenario, because we're going to get the best price possible on some puts. If we get up here and then it pulls back at the end of the day, and then, or even if we get up here and we're solid, right? We get up here and we're solid and we close high. Say we close like this, okay? And then Friday we open up and then we just give it all back down. That's be okay as well. It's going to be the same idea, the same process, the same thing. All right, so that's the goal. That's in a perfect world that will happen. So we'll see if that happens. But anything above 572, I'll be loading up puts. Okay, I want to get it past this 20 SMA briefly, just so like people, I mean, the markets are probably going to manipulate people, be like, okay, it's above its 20 SMA, time to buy, let's go buy. Okay, and it's going to get that little bounce off that the the 50 on the RSI. And then Friday or whatnot, we go lower. Or if we go higher tomorrow and then Friday we go to 575, and then next week we just drop it down. Either way, I'm feeling that pattern. I'm feeling the weakness in the market. I'm feeling the overall look of what's going to happen. And it has good potential. You know, it's not guaranteed, but it has a very good potential. All right, so let's look at some stocks that like kind of verify this kind of action that I'm like speaking on, because I was looking at a couple of stocks today and I was just like, wait a minute, you know, this kind of it's filling me out, like there's a possibility that this is gonna happen. So let's see, which one do I go to first? All right, I know you guys have a bunch of requests, but I want to give you this whole idea of what I'm seeing. And so I want to show you the potential that I see here. All right. So one of your guys' favorites, right? PLTR, right? Well, you know what? Let me go back. Let me go back because I didn't do my regular. All right, IWM. Okay, IWM looks pretty strong. Okay, It does actually. It looks pretty strong. It has a bull flag. This is a consolidation. It popped out of the consolidation, rejected 230, came back in, trying to hold above that. If it gets above that, it's then you try that breakout again. It's not looking bad. It's looking like a giant cup and handle, actually. So unless it rejects here and it falls back under, if this thing gets back above 230, it could try to get that channel again and actually rip. There's a good possibility right there. So IWM, wow, that has very good potential. Looking at the DIA as well. DIA, same pretty much price action, except DIA is a little stronger than IWM, because we were in that consolidation. It popped out of it. Now it's holding above it. So I would watch DIA and IWM. If markets are pulling back, and these ones are actually pushing, then you're going to be looking at industrials and small caps. The small caps and industrials are probably going to be taking over a little bit while tech pulls back. Okay, so those look good. I mean, look at all-time high yesterday on Dow Jones. All-time high yesterday, and now we're what, $2 away from all-time highs, $3 away from all-time highs. Okay, not bad. So I'm gonna have to look at some individual stocks that are in those areas and see which ones are the ones killing it. Let's see. Dow Jones. ADI. Oh, that's NASDAQ. Sorry. Dow Jones. Okay, really nothing happened today at all. The Russell. We got some industrials. It looks like industrials are the main culprits here. Some information technology, energy starting to pick up again. Okay, all right. So let's go back to PLTR. All right, so stock that everybody loves, right? PLTR. Now, what did I see here? Now, what I saw here, which, actually, I kind of saw it a couple of days ago, but it kind of confirmed it for me, was, we rallied up to that 190 area, which, was one of my targets, which I didn't close out those 190 calls, but, oh well. But you see this action? You see this rounded action? I didn't like it. So when it started to get here and do it like that, that's when I got puts. I got puts on, I believe it was this day. It was this day I got puts, or was it this day? It was one of these days. It was one of these 2 days when it started to round off. I got puts. I forgot if it was this one or this one. I totally forgot. But it sold off. It broke the gap fill, and then it came back to the 50 SMA, and then sold all the way down to 142, and then came back up, right? So this whole pattern here is no good. It's no good. This whole pattern here, this whole rounded pattern, it's not good. It's not good. Now, why would you say that? Well, if we come back here, right? Say we come back up here to 161, maybe even 169. Say we come up and we're right here, okay? We're all right here, right? We set up right here, maybe even go like this high, okay? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how high we go. Okay, we're right here. Okay, this then becomes an inverted cup and handle. So that's an inverted cup right there. That's an inverted cup. There's easy to see. Easy to see. You flip this upside down, and this is a cup. Okay? But since it's upside down, it's an inverted cup. All right? So we get up here, and we start chopping around here, or we go higher tomorrow or the next day, whatever it is, and we chop around here, it's going to make an inverted cup and handle. And then if that happens, you know, it's most likely going to shoot down. Okay, and where is it going to go? Most likely 125. 125 is probably the area that I would be looking to buy. Okay, from that inverted cup. Okay, and then that would be a big drop, right? Because it went from like 190, come back to like say 165, maybe even 170, and then set up and then drop it back down to 125, maybe even a little bit lower, maybe 125, 122 area, but this general area too. So this is a cup and handle, and then it rallied. Now it has an inverted cup and handle. That potentially the handle is going to be made. So, this one had the cup and handle there, and then it rallied up. This one has that inverted cup and potential handle. So that's telling me, okay, this one, even though it was a buy today and it's probably going to push through tomorrow, I'm going to have to set this one up for the downside as well. And this is a big tech right there too. All right. Let me see. Another one that I saw today, which I played, was NVIDIA. Let me grab that for you. All right. So NVIDIA, okay, we gotta see here. We got a massive bearish divergence, right? What? We got a massive bearish divergence here. Massive bearish divergence, okay. Okay, we got a massive bearish divergence, and then we have stochastics falling. We have DMI already like long gone. Okay. Okay, we lost the channel here. Okay. We lost that channel there. Okay, massive bearish divergence. Lost the channel there. We hit my target at 184.40. All right, we consolidated here. Consolidated there. We lost it, right? We lost that. We hit that support at that 168.50 area, which is right here. Came back up. Stopped right there. Okay, maybe we go a little higher. Okay, 178. 178. Maybe that, but maybe that forms a bear flag there and sets up to drop as well. I think it could be a little tired. I mean, bearish divergence is evident outside the channel as well. A lot of stocks are outside its channel. Lots of stocks are. Okay, we look at the weekly. We can see that this has just been straight up. Okay. Maybe this pullback takes us back to maybe 160, maybe 160, maybe. I mean, earnings are coming up, so that's a big one. Okay, and that's the reason why, earnings are the 27th next week. So maybe we go up here and then chop around and stay up here, and chop around for a little bit. But earnings might be the nail in the coffin for all of these. So we might chop around, or we might go up the next 2 days and chop around, and then finish that shoulder on the right side of QQQ NASDAQ, and then finish that handle on PLTR, and then set up for NVIDIA earnings. And maybe they have good earnings, maybe they don't. Maybe they just have some bad things to say. Maybe there's a lot of things in the air that week, with war, with everything, and like it just doesn't work out. But the stock is saying that it's tired, and the monthly chart, Looks great. Great breakout. But it could easily come back to 160. 160, consolidate, and then set up for a nice rally up higher past the 200s later in the year. So we could even come back down to 150, back test that breakout at that 152 area, and then set up to go higher. But all I'm saying is I'm looking at a lot of stocks. They're looking tired. Obviously bearish divergence is super evident. Okay, we had this consolidation. We lost. Okay, we broke this low here. We lost the 20 SMA. We haven't lost the 20 SMA in forever. Okay, last time we lost the 20 SMA was back here 415. Okay, so that's 4 months straight with not losing the 20 SMA. We lost it today. Okay, we lost it today, and it's just showing weakness. Overall weakness. Okay. All right. Another one, that goes with NVIDIA is AMD. So AMD, okay, obviously another one that has a bearish divergence here. A big one too. Big bearish divergence there. All right. We had broken out of this channel. Okay. Right here. Broke out of this channel. And then fell back inside the channel. Held the 20 SMA. Broke out of the channel again to make a new high. But we made a lower high on the RSI, putting the divergence in. And then from there, couldn't help maintain the higher high. Fell back inside. Lost the 20 SMA. Hit the lower end of the channel. Barely held on today. Okay. So, that's telling me, those bearish divergences aren't there for no reason. Okay. They're signaling, potential drop. We held that 160 today. We came back in the channel. But this one's, again, if we lose that 160, this one's going to go here, 147 gap fill. Maybe a little lower, maybe not. Depends on how strong it is, but definitely in that 147 gap fill area. So this one, I would say play it short term, longer term maybe, but there's potential still for drops. Okay, if it holds the channel and we do have a nice rally tomorrow, we get back above 170, that'd be good. But the key here for AMD is getting back above that 20 SMA at 173.23, because we held it here strong. We cut through it like butter here. Okay, we need to get back through that, because now that past support is now resistance. So we need to come back there and test it and see, are we getting there? Are we getting it back up there? If we can't, if we come back up there, test it, reject it, we already know this one's going down. Okay. All right. All right. So those are a couple of the texts that I saw that did not look great. So I made my little spiel there. Okay. So I'll try to get through some stocks, even though I took a lot of time here. All right. PNAW. All right, PNAW. Okay, had earnings. Did great. Popped up. Okay, held that 182. Right now, it's just making a bull flag right under these major moving averages right here. We have the 100, the 200, and the 50. Once we break that 190.89, this one should go to the gap fill at 193. 193. Should go to that gap fill at 193. Right above that, we should go straight to 200. Okay, but right now it's just it's cruising on this little channel here. That's all it's doing. It's cruising on this little channel. So I do think it's an update tomorrow, and Friday. unless it loses 180, then but it looks like it's holding that, so that looks good. Okay, let's see. All right, so um all right, so this one, core wave, you got to get back up above. You got to get back above 100. It's look at this one, had a nice hard rally up. Okay, we have support right here at 96.75, but below that, there's not really any support until about 63. So it is forming a little bullish divergence, almost. I haven't seen it yet, but it's almost doing that, almost. But I see that it had a nice turnaround today, but it needs to follow through and it needs to get back above 100. If it could do that, then great. If it can't do that, then it's going back to 63. And then that would be a really good buy. I mean, it was at 187, but maybe it was at 187 because it got murdered from there. And that's what it did. It got murdered from there. And maybe it does go back to 63. And then if it goes back to 63, buy it up. Buy it up. But, 187, that's not a good thing right there after it just died. So, it had a nice pop there. At what did we go to? 148.80. Okay. So it lost 40 points. And then, boom, lost another 40 points here. So maybe you get a little bounce, but you need it above 100. Or else, at least above 97. If you can't get above 97, this thing's going to 63. And 63, buy it all day. Buy it all day. All right. All right. ENPH. All right. ENPH, it's consolidating in this giant thing. It looks like it's stuck between the 50 and the 20 SMA. RSI is above 50. That's a good thing, but it's curling down. It just hit a low of 29. I think I mentioned that if we lose that 31, it's going to 16. So, this thing needs to get back above 40. And it needs to really get back above 43.50. If it doesn't get back above there, it's going to stay inside here for a long time, or it loses that 30 and then it drops to 16. Okay. All right. Let's see. Low. All right. Low. Had what earnings? What was that? 820. So today, before market. So this is never a good sign that when you have earnings, you pop, and then you hit this area of resistance and you completely sell back down where you were before earnings. It just shows no strength. So what this is showing me kinda is that it has a cup that it's building, and it looking like maybe it's gonna build something around here, possibly. But that could come all the way back down to here. There's a gap fill right here. So that's it. That being said, it could drop all the way back down here to 244 and then consolidate here. But it doesn't look like it's going any higher from right here. Not at all. Okay, CVNA. All right. Carvana. Carvana, hit an area of support today. I looked at it. I almost bought it this morning, but we did pretty well on what we got with the puts and the calls. But Carvana, it's a very choppy area right here. Very choppy area right here in this complete zone right here. So you could come back inside here, but this is a bear flag that fired down and then rejected and came back up. You're going to be staying in this zone. So you could go back up here to 350, maybe get to 360. You need to see follow through, but I'm just not seeing enough strength. We got good volume here on that potential because there's a lot of support here. And that bear flag didn't fire. But here, you're gonna be stuck in this. You're gonna be stuck in this. This is the mid level, right? Here's your box. Here's your upper box. Here's your lower box. Okay, you got thrown in the lower box. We held that, came back in. Now you're right here at that mid box. So are you gonna get over that mid box and then come back up here to the 360 and then reject and come back down here, or are you gonna stay down here for a little while? You might go up a little bit higher and then just consolidate here. So, do I see hard potential? No, I don't see hard potential. Okay. XYZ. Okay. All right. XYZ. I mean, when it had earnings, okay, it did good on earnings, but it came back. This is a stock where I wouldn't play it short term at all. I would just play it long and wait it out because it looks like this stock has potential, but it's going to be a long while. So I would probably buy some leaps for 2027 and not look at it ever again. Honestly, because from the looks of it, it likes to hang out right here in the 70s. It'll go in the 90s and come back down, back to the 50s. So, you got to put alert here. Whenever you're in the 40 to 50 area, you buy that thing up because obviously it likes to be bought up right there, that 40 to 50 area. Okay. Now, but on the flip side, you got this range of 79 to 90 that it likes to sell off. So, you gotta keep that in mind. That 79 to 90 range likes to be sold off, and you're right here at $74. So if you think it's a long term and you believe in the stock, I say buy it long and don't look at it. But if I'm a patterns guy and my pattern is telling me it likes to be bought up in the $50 to $40 range and it likes to be sold in the $80 range. So, and that makes sense because if you're buying it in the 40 to 50, you're selling it to the 80 to 90, you're making 100%. So, and they keep doing this year after year. So I would say they've been doing it for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. 4 years, okay. And if you want to put a alert at 91 to see if it's going to break out, then you could buy it then. I would do that. Otherwise, I think it's a waste of good potential. Okay. All right. CVX. All right, CVX. We saw that bearish divergence last week, or not last week, but 2 weeks ago. And we said that if we couldn't clear this area here, we're gonna fall back down to the lower end of the channel. We have a bullish Harami put in place today, and we have a bounce off the RSI 50. That's good. You're gonna have to see follow through. You need to get past, You need to get past 153.49 tomorrow to confirm that bullish harami, and then this has potential to go higher. This looks like it's sitting up an ascending triangle, so it's going to keep getting tighter right here, and then sooner or later it's going to break up or break down. I'm thinking it's going to break up because as you see that IWM and DIA are getting stronger while the market's getting weaker. Energy was a lot green on the day, even though the markets were red. So this has potential for a ascending triangle to pop higher. So overall, still a long higher on that one. All right, MicroStrategy. All right, well, look here. MicroStrategy is in a downtrend, okay? We figured that out yesterday when it sold off pretty hard and we got out of our calls. Okay, and then today we hit the bottom of the downtrend. Okay, and then we put in an inside day candle here. Now, this doesn't guarantee anything, but it's a nice setup. So we have that long call. Okay, it's already almost doubled up, I think. But if this continues higher, then we could go. I think we could possibly go this week to 355, 356. Right, the 200 SMA is right here, 354. So we could go 354, 356, right around 355. I think that's a good area to sell. Okay, so and then potentially we're bouncing on the lower end of the channel. Okay, we get here. Okay, we reject there or whatnot. Okay, doesn't matter. That's an area that's going to sell. It's going to be way over 100%. But 356.60 is that level of support that we should have held, because we held it once, twice, 3 times. Okay, 4. Nope, we didn't hold it that time. Okay, and this was a previous area of support because all of this area of support here. Okay. All right. So if we could get back above there, hey, maybe, but I'm not touching that longer term until it gets it back above here and then breaks this downtrend. Once it does that, then boom, we're back in the game. But until then, we'll play the bottoms and the tops of this channel. Okay. All right. LLY. All right, Eli Lilly. All right, Eli Lilly dropped on earnings 2 days and then reversed it, came back up, putting in a little bull flag here, putting in a little bull flag there, set up. RSI still below 50. Okay, not liking the RSI below 50 area. Okay, but the potential is there. It could easily set up and then break out. It's gonna have to break that 20 SMA right at 721. 721, and then push it to this gap fill at 739. So does have potential. Do I think that it's gonna go this week? I'm not sure if it goes this week, but I do like the potential. And I do like the setup here, the bull flag. Do I give you a time frame when it could hit that? It depends. I need to see more on the RSI. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it has potential to go this week. It could go this week. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it has potential to go. It has potential to go this week. But yeah, the 730 is going to be a hard one to get through. I mean, the 20 SMA is going to be a hard one to get to. But if you get through those two, you could get that gap fill at 740. Okay. AMD already did. Okay. ALT. Okay, what is this stock? It's healthcare. Is it a biotechnology? Yes, it is a biotechnology. All right, look at. I'm just gonna be straight up clear with any biotechnologies. They pop on studies. They pop on drugs. They pop on FDA. They pop on a new breakthrough. They pop on all of these things. Okay, the chart's only going to see accumulation and accumulation and a distribution. So looking at this, I see nothing. Okay, so all I see is this stock going sideways, and it doesn't look like anything. So, if you know of something that's going to happen, maybe play it, but there's no guarantee in biotechs. Biotechs are hit and miss. If you believe in it, for whatever reason you want to believe in it, then you can get long it if you want. But otherwise, the price action, there's none. The action is none. It looks weak. It looks like a dying stock. Does it look like okay, the low is $2. Okay, low is $2, and we're at 350, 360. All right, it definitely looks like a dying stock. Okay, it dropped here, and we had earnings here. Okay, nothing looks good here. I don't, unless it has a stock. I mean a drug, or it's coming out with something, or that it's just like a miracle fat loss, or a miracle liver health, or a miracle knee health, or a miracle like brain tumor health, or Alzheimer's health, or some kind of miracle something. I got nothing to say about biotechs. Sorry, I wish it could be more help, but biotechs are like that. I traded biotechs a long time, and they're like that. They're like that. Okay. All right, this stock again. I told somebody else about this stock. Look, it's another biotech, another thing, right? It dropped, nasty. Okay, unless it didn't drop on purpose, unless it dropped on fake news, unless it dropped on accident, like it dropped because it dropped, and it's not coming back right now. It's not coming back right now unless there's some news that they come out with some breakthrough something. It's not going to come back. So, just because the stock was $40 and now it's $20 doesn't mean it's a good deal. It just doesn't. These kind of stocks, unless there's going to be a miracle drug or something, or there was something that was published wrong or whatnot, this stock is not going to be anything well. You know what this stock is going to do? It's going to do exactly what it's been doing, and just continue on doing this. So if you want to buy it here and maybe sell it at 28, make $4 on a stock, go ahead. But otherwise, I got no opinion on that. Coin. All right, so Coin lost it today, right? We have 302 as very good support. It lost it today, okay, and I thought it was going to come down here to 276, but at the end of the day, it rallied up hard, and it closed up at the highs, near the highs. So tomorrow, that's a beautiful, and we have an inside day. So it's a beautiful turnaround. It's the same turnaround that MicroStrategy had. So if we could get another candle a little higher to say 410, 415, that'd be beautiful. Okay, 410, 415. Maybe goes a little higher, 420. That would be great. Otherwise, that's it. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. MicroStrategy already did. Okay. DHI. All right. I don't know what stock this is. DR Horton. Okay. All right. So. Okay. All right. Then there's a potential cup and handle here, and then breakout, but not hitting target. And if it comes back up here, that could be a potential another cup and handle forming. But from right here, what I'm looking at here is it's weak, it's tired, it doesn't have any juice. It can't get past this 170 area. That 170 area, you can't get past. Try to get past it here. Try to get past it here. Failed it. Okay, most likely you're going to consolidate in this zone until it decides what it wants to do. But the RSI is already dropping off. I feel like this is dead money for right now. Okay, well, I mean, this is going to be the same thing. I'm going to tell you the same thing. It has the same price action. It looks exactly the same. So, it's going to be the same thing, dead money. So, we have that. You have this potential right here, but most likely it's going to be more of a consolidation. Some right here. You have a potential a cup and handle. Couldn't get past that. Tried here, is weaker, fell back down, came below this low. This high. So you're trying to hold 130. If that doesn't hold, you're coming back down to 126. Consolidate. A lot of sell volume on here. This speaks to me as consolidation, and it's right here in the consolidation zone. So here's the consolidation zone. So that speaks that it's going to be a consolidation zone. RSI is already fallen off. So that's telling me, all that's telling me is it's dead money right now. It's not going to do something. It's not going to do much right now. Consolidate, drop, or it's waiting for something. It's not ready yet. Okay, HD. Home Depot. All these, the ones that you're giving me are telling me all the same thing. It's potential breakouts, potential failed breakouts. So they're all, this one broke out, failed, came back, tried again, failed again, and then put it in harder. So it's too much sellers on the top of this. So it's going to come back down 397.50, and it's going to be around here. They had what? They had inline earnings, basically. They missed it by a penny, right? But yeah, this is going to consolidate some. I don't see anything happening in the near future for that, for either of those, all three of them. All right, Google's been, rallying up, doing nicely, okay, but it does have a bearish divergence on there recently. So that is not the greatest. Bearish divergence there. DMI crossed over. Okay. Everything's not looking too great there. It did hold the 20 SMA. It needs to get back over that 200. If we could do that, potentially it could climb back over. But with that bearish divergence across a lot of tech, it's weary. Google did come back strong today, real strong, but a lot of things came back strong today. Doesn't mean they're healthy. All right, so we did hold this level here, which is beautiful. Those previous highs, it held that, came back up. Okay, we need to get back above that 200 and then start setting up, and then but this divergence is there. Stochastics already turning. DMI already turned. I'm not trying to say Google's not can't do it, but the odds are stacked against Google. Odds are definitely stacked against Google right now. Okay. Okay. Hood. Okay, Hood, same thing. Bearish divergence on there, really big one. Big bearish divergence on there. All right, made new highs here, but failed the breakout. So there's a breakout, broke out, failed, try to hold it, failed, try to break out again, failed, came back here, held it here, but you're not getting past this. You're not getting past 113. You held that 100, but for how long? You couldn't get past the 20 SMA again. So, this is basically going to be this. It's going to be this, and then it's going to be this. Welcome to your box. This is your box. This is your box, and this is your mid-level box. This is your lower end box. This is your upper end box. Okay, and then you can't get past the higher end box at 113, 114. So you're going to stay in this area until you fall out of it, and most likely you're going to fall out of it. Okay, unless you hold that 100 for a long time, you're going to fall out of it. So do I see anything here potential? No, not really. Unless you get past that 114, there's nothing there for me. Okay, Apple. All right, Apple here. Okay, Apple has that bull flag here. I don't like this candle today because it's making that kind of cup motion. Not feeling that really much, especially with tech falling down. We don't have a potential bearish divergence though. No divergence there. Just that cup situation there. So, Apple. It needs a hold. It needs a. If it keeps coming back down, it needs a hold 222, and then bounce back up. If it could do that, the bull flag will stay intact. If we could come back tomorrow and hold that 230, that would be perfect. It would be straight line. It would be a nice bull flag. Otherwise, if we don't hold that 230, then we go 222. Okay, I already did PLTR and AMD. Okay. All right. All right, GDX. Wait, yeah, GDX. Yeah, GDX looks great. Remember we had that ascending triangle, and it broke out, hit target 1, target 2, target 3. Now it's consolidating. Nice bull flag. It's going to straight target 4, which is 60, 67. Nice. Looks great. Looks great. Okay. Oh. All right. Oh. All right. Let's see here. Let's clear this out. All right. We see that we have... All right. Okay. Oh. Okay. We have a breakout here. Okay. Breakout of consolidation here. And that's going to target perfectly 61.30. Okay. And then, how big is that? And then here. Okay. So these two targets are going to be hit. So perfect breakout. You're going to 61.30 and then 63.30. So those are your targets there. 61 and 63. Okay. All right. HLE. All right, Hormel Foods. All right. You're at the lower end of support at 28. But you're kind of like dwindling, as if I could say. Yeah, you're dwindling. So you're dwindling down. Okay, let me see. You're dwindling down. You're in a box right now. You can't get back above 50 on the RSI. Monthly, yeah, you've been dwindling for a while. RSI not looking strong at all. Look at this is the earnings play. Like, look, you're here lower end support, but the way that this stock has been going and being, I would just play it after earnings. If earnings are good and it runs, cool. But if not, I'm not gonna play it. If you get near 28, sure, buy it and then sell it near 29. But otherwise, it's an earnings play, and that earnings is next week. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say on this one. I wouldn't play it because it looks so weak and dwindling, and I don't know what the issue is with them. I don't know what their problem. I don't follow them too much, but typically you would be a buy right here, but I just don't like how the overall price action is. What month put is good? I think I told you September. Uh-uh. September 19th. Okay, grab. Okay, grab. This one has just been in some nasty consolidations for a long time. Between 5 and 550. I think I played it for this inverse head and shoulders one time, and it didn't go through, and it's still just inside there. So I think it's dead money, honestly. Dead money. It just stays in this range, 470 to 550. It's a dollar range. So if you want to play the bottoms and the tops, be my guest. But long term, I try to play it, and I think that I got dead money on there. Yep. It had that nice bull flag set up and everything, but it never followed through. This is one of those ones that just, you got to wait forever. Look at how that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months going sideways. So if you want to play that, you want to do that, go ahead, but not my style. Not my style. All right, let's see. Lit. All right, it's the ETF. Okay. Um, uh, Lithium battery. This has a lot to do with cobalt and stuff like that, right? So, I think that has to do a lot to deal with the mining stuff. So if you keep tabs on those mining stuff and you think, okay, all that's gonna be worth it, because if you look at the news that I read, it tells me that electric cars are not in demand right now, and electric cars are kind of like taking up a lot of room in the automotive area, and they're trying to give away basically electric cars. I think I read an article yesterday. It said that Mercedes is selling like one of the cheapest electric cars, and they just can't sell these electric cars, especially because gas is going down. I saw gas in California. I saw gas under $4. It was like $3.80. I haven't seen gas $3.80 in years. So it's hard to sell electric cars when gas is going down, and it's hard to be bullish lithium in a car aspect, maybe in like a battery aspect of like, like regular batteries for your remote control and your iPods and your laptops and stuff like that. But if this is like a car play, electric battery play, I just don't know. I mean, the chart looks okay. But I think this is probably going to be one of those consolidation plays for a little while until it's actually ready to be a go. I mean, our side looks like it wants to go, but it's still under 50. Squeezing setup. Everything looks fine, but honestly, I just don't see the demand. And if it breaks 48, I'm all wrong and like go ahead. But otherwise, if it stays in this area, you're going to be in this area. I would be a buyer at 35 and a seller at 46. So that's a good 10-way thing. So I would put an alert at 35 and then play it that way. Otherwise, not interested. AMD, I already did. How's your birthday? Birthday was great. Thanks. Sorry for not being here last week, guys. Okay. Are you still good on Intel? Okay, Intel. All right. So let's see. Intel. Here you go. Here's Intel. All right. So are we good on Intel? Okay, for September. All right. Yeah, still good for Intel. So here's the thing. Here's Intel. Okay. You see Intel, this is a weekly chart. Okay, this is Intel's weekly chart. Big giant bullish divergence here. RSI above 50. Squeeze. Set up nicely with the positive squeeze. This is weekly, right? This is weekly. This isn't daily. This is weekly. Okay, that's a nice setup, right? Intel has been here. Let me extend this to the left. Intel's been in this box for a couple years, right? This box. All right, once that box is broken, where are we going? 32 and 30. All right. So, if you don't want to play the shorter term Septembers, that's fine. But you got to get the leaps because it's going to go to 30. Okay. I think it's going to go in the next month. So that's why I'm playing Septembers. So, and they're cheap. If we get that breakout next week or in 2 weeks, it doesn't matter if we get it in 3 weeks. If we get that breakout, those things are going to bank. Our first target's going to be 29. If we get that breakout. Intel looks beautiful to me. Consolidation sideways for this kind of month. A lot of good positive news coming out. $2 billion from SoftBank. The U.S. trying to invest in Intel. I think they're not trying to move it until they get the AOK if the U.S. could invest, because it's like $10.9 billion or something like that. It's 10%, right? 10% of Intel. And what Intel is like, Intel is, Intel, market cap, it's 103 million. Total shares outselling 4 billion, right? Is that 4 billion? All right, that's what 4 million, 4.3 million. 4.3 million shares outstanding. Okay, market cap 103. That's in the millions, right? So 100. So basically 103. 166 millions, right? So 10% of that is a lot. It's a lot of money. Okay, I think they're just they're holding it back until they get that AOK. If they're gonna do 10% or not, because SoftBank's already like, we're gonna put $2 billion in there, right? And then the U.S. is gonna be like, wait a minute, if we're gonna help you out even more and set you up to fucking go, then we want 10%. I don't know how that's gonna work with government and stuff or whatnot, but I think it is a little weird, but whatever. If that goes or not goes, there's already companies willing to put money in this, and this has been consolidating here for a long time, and then you put $2 billion in it, and they haven't put it in there yet. It's not like they bought it today. It's not like they bought it yesterday. They announced that they're gonna buy it. So now, what do they have to do? They have to put that money in there slowly. Probably a couple 100 mil at a time, and then finally, once they're done loading, this shit's gonna rip. If you're gonna be putting 2 billion shares, right? 2 billion, okay, and then you have how many shares outstanding? You have 4.3 million shares outstanding, right? Okay, so 4.3 million shares outstanding. All right, so and the stock is $23, right? So I mean that's a hell of a lot. So you have $23.50 each share, and you have that fucking 4.3 million shares, and then somebody's gonna put 2 billion in you, right? They're gonna buy those shares, $2 billion worth. This is gonna take off. It's just a matter of time, right? We have the bullish divergence. That means people already been buying it, right? Bullish divergence, people already been buying it. Squeeze setting up, it's ready to pop and go. All right, we're getting close right there. That 26, we almost had it the other day, right? And then the government probably was like, wait, we didn't have a yes or no, so boom, pull it back. Then once that goes, this baby's gonna go, and we're probably gonna see this guy probably hit 40. So I mean, if you guys want to buy long-term shares right here at 23, why not? It's an investment. Look at that bullish divergence, beautiful. Squeeze, beautiful. Setup, beautiful. I mean, I think we could take this baby back to 50. So I'm thinking those 2027 calls that I got, I'm gonna hold them until we get to 40 to 50, and they're $30 calls for a year and a half. And if we could get to 40 this year, or at least 35 this year, I mean, those calls are already going to kill. We get to 40 next year or 45, this is going to be stupid. It's be stupid. But for the short-term calls, hey, yeah, it is a little riskier. But, bull flag setup still on the daily. Okay, some chop around here. We broke out on that SoftBank news. Came back in. The government said, wait, we want to do that 10%. Bernie Sanders came out today and said, hey, I think that's a good idea to have it 10%. And then whatever that happens, they consolidates, maybe it pulls back a little bit more, and then they're like, all right, let's do the deal. That thing flies. Come on, think about when Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank were all in the slumps, and then they had to buy AIG, and like AIG was like $1, and Bank of America was like $5 or $2. All these banks were done, and the government came in and was like, well, we'll actually use all this money, but we want to get paid back plus some, or give us interest. And then boom, what happened to all the banks? All of the insurances and everything, they all skyrocketed, rallied up in like a couple months. They were freaking. It was like the stupidest why didn't I buy situation in the world, right? When the government ever steps in and says, I want to either help this out, or I'm going to save it, or you're too big to fail, or whatnot, that just means buy. When I saw that news that the government wanted 10% of Intel, I was like, let's buy this shit now. Buy. Why am I going to look back at this when it's $40 a share and be like, why didn't I buy this? And then it's going to go 50. And I'm be like, why didn't I buy it? So, it's just it's a no-brainer right now. It's probably shaking whoever out. But I mean, if the government wants 10%, there's a reason why. If SoftBank is putting in $2 billion, there's a reason why. Why do I need to know all those damn reasons? I just need to go with the flow. I want to go with the flow and ride the coattails. Let me ride the coattails of all these guys that have a lot more people doing more research than I am. Right? Why not? All right. So, yeah, I still like it. All right. August a bad month? Well, August hasn't been that bad a month. August's been okay. I mean, we're the 20th. It's been okay. It hasn't been too bad. Let's see. A bear flag for handy handle. Okay. Yeah, yeah. A little bear flag for the cup and the inverted cup and handle. Yeah. It means stellar Tesla longs in September ones as the market appears bearish. Tesla doesn't really. Tesla. Um, yeah, I'll take a look at Tesla for you. Look, Tesla had this descending triangle. Okay, it broke out of that descending triangle. Right here, it back tested that descending triangle, held 320, and it came back up. Okay, I think this is a nice bull flag. I think it's still ready to go. It broke out, back test held. I think it's ready to go. I think it still goes higher. So Tesla doesn't really follow the market because, as you can see, Tesla's not at all-time highs. It's nowhere near all-time highs. It hasn't even been rallying at all. And markets are completely rallying higher. So there could be an opportunity where Tesla rallies. Okay. It does have a little W pattern as well. Tesla rallies even though the markets pull back. So I wouldn't say just give up on Tesla just yet. Okay. Okay. Intel. I already did Intel. Okay. Tesla, Lulu. Just did Tesla. And then Lulu. Lulu's 20 SMA is blocking it for right now. Okay. Okay, no. I'm not really. I would be more of a buyer at 177.50. So, I see some consolidation. If it can't get through the 20 SMA, I'd be a buyer at 177.50. But if it could get through that 20 SMA, you have potential to go to 220. But that 20 SMA looks like hard resistance. Okay. Meta. All right, Meta. Okay, we had this support here at 740. Okay, we had that bearish divergence here. Okay, we dropped down. Okay, came back down here. I think Meta, if it could hold 741, maybe we get back to 760. Possibly, but I think it might reject there 760, and if it does that, forms a bear flag, and then we come back down to 710 with that gap fill. Okay. All right. Oracle. I think last time I said Oracle was gonna pull back because there was too much rejection over here. Okay, it lost this support here. Okay, holding the 50. You need to get back over 240. If you can't get back over 240, then you're going to keep coming back down to 220 and 200 because RSI is already below 50. Squeeze is pulling down, and we have a massive bearish divergence. I think that Oracle was tired, and it's going to come back down. It might even come back down to 180 if we get hard selling in the markets, like I think the Head and Shoulders is going to do. I think we could come back down to 180s. Okay. All right. Let's see. RGTI. Okay. RGTI. Okay. RGTI. This one has been kind of playing around. We had that breakout here, then we came back, and then we rallied hard here, 17, then we come back down here, and we're kind of like double bottoming in this zone there. So we're holding that. This one needs to get back above 1529, 1570 more likely. If it could do that, we could possibly come back to that 17. But otherwise, this is kind of chopping around hard right here. But above that 1529, I like it a lot because it has that big consolidation here. If we could stay above that 1529, that would be great, and then it could continue on higher. Because it did fill that gap though right here at that 1755 area, but it looks good. Looks good. If we could get above there, if we could get above that 1529, it'd look good. Okay. Let's see. I think that. Yep, has that uptrend right there. You know, perfectly. It has that perfect uptrend and channel. And yeah, every time it's on the low, it goes higher. Okay, so it's hit right on that channel. So as it respects its channel, it'll come back up. So does have a little bearish divergence though, but if it could hold that channel, it could go higher. How often do I stream? Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, yes. Meta's at 710. All right. All right, Jeff. Thank you for watching videos. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. All right, guys. Let's look at Bitcoin here. Okay, Bitcoin. Cool. Okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff. All right. Let's just clear all this out. All right. Bitcoin here. All right, Bitcoin, bearish divergence right off the bat. You see that there? Straight up bearish divergence there. So bearish divergence on Bitcoin right there. All right, we see that we broke out and we failed to break out there. We failed to break out. Came back down here. Okay, now it looks like we're going to maybe consolidate a little bit. Maybe make a little head and shoulders here. But it is looking like Bitcoin is going to come back down to 110. Looking like 110 possibly. Yeah, 110, 108 to 110 area. And that's where that cup and handle broke out. But this one has that false breakout, kind of double top area. So I think we're going to come back to 11,000 to 108. 110,000 to 108,000 right there. So I think we consolidate here a little bit longer though, but eventually we're going to come back down here. All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out. I'm gonna go make some dinner and call it a night. Feed my dogs. You guys have a good night. Appreciate all you.